Alright guys, so it looks like we actually have a few leaks that have come out for in advance of CES that is actually taking place this upcoming week. So a lot of this information is going to be able to be confirmed later on in the week, but as you guys can see here, it looks like somebody's been sneaking around and taking some photos of some stuff they probably shouldn't have in regards to some of the upcoming releases from Arcade1Up. Now, if you guys at all had watched the Retro Buzz episode 6, we actually had John on from Arcade1Up, and he did confirm, yes, the pinball leak is true, and he did provide us a little bit more information, not a ton. Obviously, they've got things under wrap as much as possible, but they definitely did provide us a little bit more information about it, and he did say that there is a ton more stuff that they've got up their sleeve that they're going to be releasing. Now, they're going to give us a little bit of a teaser at CES, and they're going to have a very large presence at E3. So it's going to be really interesting to kind of see what they're doing. Now, these photos that came out, they're actually posted by a Reddit user, BIKR, about 2 or so hours ago. And as you can see, they've got some very, very detailed images of the second pinball arcade machine. John did confirm that there's going to be 2 pinball machines that are going to be released this year. So we already knew about the Star Wars one. It looks like now we actually have some pretty good indications it's going to be a Universal cabinet, which would include titles probably along the lines of Jaws, which we can actually see right over here. Now, the image isn't particularly high res, and my guess, and this is going to be the same for all the images that I'm going to show you guys, is that the individual was either not very close and he was zoomed in on his phone, which is why the quality is so low, or he was using a potato. I'm not sure which of the two is the case, but either way, we don't have amazingly high quality or high resolution images to look at, so we just kind of have to make do with what we can see. Now, this is really cool because the pinball machines, as previously stated, are going to have multiple games. So it's not going to be 1 or 2 titles. We're going to be looking at excess of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games per cabinet. At least that's the information that's come out so far. So I'm really looking forward to kind of see where they're going with this. I do like that they're going with a Universal pinball cabinet as their first release, because it gives you a lot of different games to choose from, and it doesn't really pigeonhole you into picking a very specific artwork style. So if you're not a Star Wars fan, this might actually be the better cabinet for you to pick up, because then you're not bound by those Star Wars graphics. So that's really cool. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the next image. So this is another image. It's really low res, as you guys can see here. My guess is, again, this was taken from pretty far away and it was just zoomed in. And I'm not sure what kind of device was used. Now, alternatively, it could have been just an older smartphone, but my guess is that the individual took this photo from quite far away. The big news in this photo is a couple of things. So the first thing, we can see that there is actually a new design, or at least a new accessory for the Star Wars cabinet, and it looks like it's got some sort of a bench, and what it might actually be is some sort of a take on the riser. Obviously the riser is not available on this cabinet because they've included this bench here, which is really cool. That being said, I'm not sure if this is going to be something that's just going to be purchasable as a secondary accessory, which I hope that they do, or if you have to purchase a whole new cabinet with this attached. Now, my guess, and what I would assume is going to be the smarter move, is that you can purchase the bench separately. Now, I don't have any information. We don't know if this is coming out soon or if this is prototype or what it happens to be, but it is actually pretty cool to see that. That's going to be for somebody who really wants to kind of get that kind of booth feel when you're actually playing the Star Wars cabinet. The next thing that we can see beside it, and we can't see a ton of it, but it looks like we're going to have some NBA Jam going on. And this is one that has been rumored for quite a while. We saw some leaks last year, middle of last year when the first leaks came out. Obviously, we don't know whether or not there was licensing issues or what was going on there, or if they intentionally delayed this, but it looks like NBA Jam will be coming to the lineup hopefully soon. This may not be something that comes out soon. This may be something that they were just going to show off as a prototype, and this might be something that they would announce at E3, but either way, it does look like it is in there, and it looks like you're going to get more than just NBA Jam. It looks like we are also going to get NBA Hang Time. Based on just the pixelated artwork that I can see down here, that would be my guess. I don't know for sure. And then if we jump over to the last photo, this is where we've got a lot of really cool cabinets that are able to be displayed here. So the first thing that we're going to talk about right away is the big elephant in the room. It looks like we are going to be getting Big Buck Hunter, and this is going to be our very first light gun arcade cabinet that's come out. I'm not a huge fan of the series. I've never really gotten into the whole hunting style games, but for you guys who are actually interested in it, it looks like we've got that set up, and it looks very legitimate. Again, pixelated images. We don't know how accurate these are. We don't know if these are just prototypes, teasers, things like that. We don't know when they're going to be released, if they're going to be released, and honestly, we don't know if any of these photos have been photoshopped in any way. They do appear to be authentic, but you never really know, and I'd rather not say that these are confirmed until we actually hear it from the horse's mouth. But that's actually really cool that we are going to be getting into a light gun arcade cabinet. That's something that's really interesting, and I know a lot of people have been interested in it. I know some people have gone ahead and modded their Arcade1Up cabinets and thrown in some light guns, so this is actually really cool to see that they've gone ahead with that. Beside that, we've got our Burgertime cabinet. Now this is one that was confirmed and then delayed, and then this was supposed to be a Karate Champ cabinet, then it was pulled and redesigned, and they've actually completely redesigned it altogether, so now we are actually looking at a Burgertime cabinet. I'm not particularly surprised by that. This was one that's been confirmed for a little while. The one that's next to it, though, is actually really interesting. It looks like it is a re-release of Pac-Man, and that's this one right over here, if you guys can see that. The cool thing about this is that it looks like the side panels are slightly different. You can also see that the LCD monitor is angled substantially farther back. It's much more in an inclined position, and it kind of reminds me of like the classic cabaret with wood paneling type of look, so maybe that's what they're going for. It definitely looks like there is a ton more titles on there rather than just Pac-Man. So as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 titles are listed on there. I can only speculate what those would be. I can't really tell from the photos, but it's definitely really, really interesting to see all this stuff. And the very last cabinet, I'm not going to spend too much time on it. We can only see a little bit here. And again, this is one that a lot of people have speculated. It looks like we're going to be getting a Marvel vs. Capcom cabinet, and it's going to be bundled with what looks to be X-Men vs. Street Fighter. There may be a third game as well attached to it, but based on what we can see, it's Marvel vs. Capcom and X-Men vs. Street Fighter. It's probably going to be just a simple two-player fighting setup. So that's really cool as well. Now again, I want to clarify for you guys, none of this stuff is confirmed. I cannot guarantee any of this information is 100% accurate. I can only go based off of the photos. They do not look photoshopped. That being said, when we had the release of NBA Jam photos middle of last year, everyone thought, okay, NBA Jam is coming, and there was a delay on it, or it didn't end up being pushed out. So again, some of this stuff may just simply be prototype, space filler. Maybe they're just kind of showing off the tech that they've got on and the licenses that they're working on acquiring. So that's definitely something to look forward to. I can't wait to see what this week brings. But that's all I've got for you in this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and I will talk to you guys again real soon.